That's the sound of accomplishment at the Paragon Flight Training School. Students here ring that bell and add their name to the walls of this hangar after completing milestones like their first solo flight.
They say a good pilot is always learning.
Ryan Wallace rang that bell a while ago.
So no matter how many hours you have, you're always going to be learning. There's always something new, a new regulation or new avionics or a new aircraft.
He's been learning and training here for the last 2 years.
Is there a particular kind of plane that you're interested in learning how to fly?
I want to fly wide bodies, so A350s, 777s, that's the big goal, but for now we're in the single engine.
While he's still training on these smaller planes, working toward those bigger birds, he carries an important lesson with him on the ground and in the air.
Safety is the number one importance.
Checking instruments, communicating clearly, and keeping an alert eye. All practices instructors here work to instill in their students.
You just slide on in.
That's it.
And we're ready to go.
I stepped into the on-site flight simulator with Chief Flight Instructor Jeffrey Wolf.
And how long have you been flying personally?
I started actually my sophomore year in high school, so I've been a little over 20 years now.
Walking hundreds of students through all these gauges, screens, numbers, and levers.
I'm looking at these screens here, and it's not like in the old movies where it's just a bunch of gauges. I'm seeing like actual screens here like you would see in a car.
Yeah, we have our newest Garmin equipment possible. This is the G1000, but it comes with a lot of additional safety features and traffic and terrain and weather.
After seeing the headlines about big jet crashes in D.C. and Toronto and smaller incidents like this one in LaBelle and this one in Manatee County, Wolf tells me for he and his students,
safety is paramount when it comes to aviation.
Absolutely, and that's why we use the simulation that we're using to ensure that they are able to get any experience they need to be safe in the cockpit. Ready for takeoff?
And that simulation is very realistic. Students can take off from a virtual Page Field and fly along the Gulf Coast.
That'll be the Cape Coral Bridge right off the wing.
Yep.
Did you want to fly?
Sure.
Go for it.
How do I just
It
take
is set,
control?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine doing this in real life.
That culture of safety seems to be working in the real world despite this year's high-profile crashes. A search of the National Transportation Safety Board's Aviation Investigation Database shows 6 incidents reported in January of 2024 in Florida. Compare that to the only 4 found in January of this year in the state. The first of which was the crash at the Naples airport New Year's Day. Going further, NTSB data shows the total number of plane crashes in 2024 landed at 988 in the U.S. That's down from 992 in 2023 and 1,053 in 2022.
I think that the industry as a whole is very, very safe.
And his students, like Denise Lennart, say they plan to keep it that way.
I learned how much is actually going into every flight.
Every flight she's trained on here since August of 2023.
It doesn't start the second you sit down into the airplane. It actually starts day before by looking at the weather.
And to even be eligible for a job with the airlines, they have to build up 1,500 hours of experience flying planes like this.
From takeoff to touchdown, Lennart, Wallace, and more than 300 Paragon students are preparing to keep the sky safe for everyone while fulfilling their own dreams.
Since I was a kid, I've always loved to fly. I never really cared where we were going as long as we were on a plane. That was what was enjoyable to me.